Okay, welcome to Getting You Ready to Buy a Home. I'm Lisa Cameron with Credit Advisors Foundation, and today we'll be talking about how to prepare for home ownership. So let's get started. During today's webinar, we're going to walk through the process of becoming a homeowner. Whether you are a first-time home buyer or have previously owned a home or currently own a home and are looking to purchase anew, the process will essentially be the same. The biggest variable is going to be how long it takes you to work through the process. Preparation, experience, and understanding of the process will make for a smoother path to homeownership. So we'll talk about the things to consider before becoming a homeowner. What is the general path to homeownership? How do you get started? Working with a housing counselor and why you're going to want to. And then finally, attending a home buyer education class. So let's begin with some things to consider before becoming a homeowner. So most folks don't realize that we develop financial habits, both good and bad, as we go through life. Some spending habits can be helpful to a homeowner, and some spending habits can just as easily sabotage your efforts to become a homeowner. Do you have a savings plan? Do you regularly add funds to your savings? Do you generally spend all or most of your income before your next paycheck? How difficult would you find it to adjust your spending habits to achieve the goal of homeownership? What are the advantages and disadvantages of homeownership? Advantages like stable housing costs, control of your environment, wealth building. Disadvantages, the cost of maintenance and repairs, because you know when you're a homeowner, there's no landlord to call. No guarantees that the property will increase in value. Do you anticipate staying in your current geographical area, or is there a chance that you may move in the next 3 to 5 years? Job changes or transfers, voluntary relocation, keep those in mind before you make the final decision to move forward on homeownership. Moving soon may limit your participation in down payment assistance programs, or simply make the case for waiting until after you relocate may be wiser and less stressful. Are you ready to commit to a 15 or 30-year loan? Or are there other things you dreamed of doing first, like backpacking through Europe or going a cross-country trip? Only you can answer if you're really ready to commit to home ownership. So the steps in the home buying process. So the first one is you want to talk to a housing counselor to determine if home ownership is right for you. Then we're going to determine how much you can afford. We're going to determine your wants and needs in a home. We're going to assess location needs and desires. We're going to have you attend a home buyer education class so that you're up to speed and have the knowledge to move through this process. We're going to have you meet with a lender for pre-approval. We're going to help you learn how to shop for the home and make the offer, to have a professional home inspection and what that means. Help you formally apply for the mortgage loan, obtaining your homeowner's insurance, and finally closing that loan. All right, so who's involved? Who is your home buying team? You don't want to go it alone. So your homeownership counselor is going to help you get some knowledge and skills. Your real estate agent helps you walk through that environment. Your lender helps lead you through the loan process. The home inspector and the appraiser are going to let you know about different things about the property you're looking to buy. The appraiser will help figure out the fair market value, and then the home inspector will also help you determine that the house you're buying is not going to become a money pit. And then finally, your homeowner's insurance agent helps you protect your investment properly. So getting started as a home buy. Whether you're working with a housing counselor or not, there will always be some upfront work for you to do. Where are you starting? Have you looked at your credit report? Do you know how to read it? Do you know your credit score range? How is it calculated? How can you raise your score? What's a housing ratio? How is it calculated? And what's a debt to income ratio? If you go to a lender for pre-approval, do you know what information that they will request? What documentation will you need? What documentation will you need for your formal mortgage application? Do you know how to make a budget? Do you know what a point is? And if you pay a point at closing, what does it mean? Do you need to do a bit of cleanup on errors on your credit report? Or do you need to increase your credit score to even qualify for a loan? What's your plan? So you want to research lenders, loan products, terms, rates, costs, down payment assistance programs. This is likely the largest purchase you will ever make, impacting your household potentially for the next 30 years. You want to get it right, done right the first time. So establishing your baseline, developing your skills, knowledge, and abilities. These are going to be the tools you use, and your housing counselor can help you get there. Housing counselor can also help you set goals, your action plans on what you're going to need to accomplish to be able to move forward with your American dream, and then working your plan and doing your research like we talked about. Okay. So again, working with a housing counselor. Housing counselor will help you to establish your baseline. So that's sustainable budget, so you know what funds you're going to have available. The housing ratio, what is that? That's that front end ratio. That's where we calculate how much of your income should be going to your housing payment so that it stays affordable and that you will be a successful homeowner. The debt to income ratio, or a back end ratio, is a ratio that your lender will calculate to see if you will qualify or you are capable of handling the payment on the loan. And then finally, your initial credit score. You do need to have a minimum credit score to be able to be approved by a lender in a traditional mortgage. So we want to figure out where you're at, where you're starting, and if we need to do some work to get that score a little bit higher. Some of the skills that you're going to have to develop is money management, knowing how to manage your money, knowledge on how a credit reporting works, how credit scores work, and how you can work them yourself to advance yourself moving forward financially. Your abilities, managing a budget, working your action plan. All the things that you're going to be doing for homeownership preparation will assist you to get through that whole process. So goal setting and action plan. So typically, a counselor will help you with the budget, help you review your credit report, and then help you look at your score. They're going to give you some guidance on what qualifying credit scores are in your area, and our counselors can help you develop a step-by-step plan if you don't meet that criteria initially to help you get there. Okay, so doing your research. So some of the things that you're going to want to research are the different lenders. So you may already have a bank that you work with or a credit union. So you're going to want to do a little research. Does your bank or credit union even do mortgages? Maybe you don't know. So let's go to the web and take a look. Let's look at see what kind of loans they offer. Most lenders are going to tell you right on their website. They'll tell you a little bit about the program or the product. And for them, they are selling a product. That's what their loans are. You're going to need to understand what the current interest rates are. So if you get an offer in a pre-approval of an interest rate that you know if that is a reasonable offer for where you're sitting in your situation. Non-traditional home ownership. So if you have to go through non-traditional underscoring or credit scoring, what does that mean and how is that going to work out? And then the mortgage and housing terminology so that you are understanding exactly what's going on during this entire process. Attend a homebuyer education class. Okay, so this is a potential down payment assistance requirement. So what goes on in a homebuyer class? So you're going to be going through a number of different modules, and typically they're going to be laid out similar to this. So number one, are you ready to buy a home, or is even homeownership right for you? Money management. They're going to discuss the skills of money management that you're going to need to have to move forward. Understanding credit and how credit works. Shopping for your home. There are some details that you're going to want to know up front. Obtaining the mortgage loan. We walk you through how to do that process. And then finally, protecting your investment. Once you're in the home, how do you take care of it and make sure that all that investment of time, energy, and money is going to get you to where you want to be. So if you have any questions, or if you just want to have a little conversation about the opportunity of becoming a homeowner, give us a call. You can go to our website or you can call us on our hotline. We do in-person counseling as well. We have an office in Omaha on South 72nd Street and also in Council Bluffs.